Welcome to the Spy Collection. My name is Anastasios, and here we'll have a look at one more of the allegedly leaked US intelligence community documents from 2023. Apparently, we are in no position to judge their authenticity. We use them only for educational and historical reasons. This time we'll have a look at this, a document that, despite not being as sensitive as others we have presented before, it was the one that drew most mainstream media attention in the early days of that leak. It was titled Consolidated Ukrainian Air Force Air Defense, and it was from February 28, 2023. Quite an interesting thing in this classification marking is that it was also available to Ukraine, Five Eyes, and NATO countries that had the need to know for this information. As we read in the bottom line up front, current Ukrainian air defense plan balances limited resources to protect critical national infrastructure, population centers, front line of troops, and other key assets across Ukraine. Ukraine's ability to provide medium-range air defense to protect the forward line of troops will be completely reduced by May 23rd. Ukraine assessed to withstand 2 to 3 more wave strikes. As first-layer defense munitions run out, second and third-layer expenditure rates will increase, reducing the ability to defend against Russian aerial attacks from all altitudes. Following that, we have a roadmap with this line here indicating the current state, that is, for when this Intel product was produced. Here we also see that DIA was aware of the upcoming spring offensive starting in April, and also some explanation of the color coding of the text that indicated if the weapons were delivered and are in country, if the delivery is on track, no delivery timeline, and no commitment. On the bottom, we have an extended legend giving us more insights to the rest of the items we see. That is, equipment, transportation window, operational window, non-operational window, air defense training, expected munition depletion, at risk, strike wave, and quite importantly, the source of all of that information. All these sources are listed here, as well as when the Intel products from each one of them was produced. For example, this report we are looking at had information from the Wiesbaden military base in Germany that produced the Ukraine running estimates on February 1st. Or at the end we read that it includes information derived from US military's Project Franken-Sam from December 2nd, and so on. All high-quality intelligence products need to have a clear definition on what sources were used to avoid misguiding the recipient, forcing them to make their own conclusions about where this information might be originating from. Now, to the main part of the document, we have the type of weapons on the left side, that is, short and medium to long range, then their type, the exact models and country they originate from. Here we see that at that point in time, Ukraine had their own air defense weapon systems, as well as some originating from Poland, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, Germany, Norway, Canada, Denmark, Netherlands, Spain, Italy, and France. Then we have how many were on hand, expended, delivery for commitments, and training fields. Lastly, on the right side we have the timeline. Given that this was from February 28, 2023, DIA also added a small note summarizing what happened in terms of Russian activity and the ongoing collective training. All of that is telling us that this wasn't a one-off intelligence report. This was a standing intelligence product that was updated on a regular basis to keep US, Ukrainian, and NATO military leaders informed. The document also includes a significant amount of details allowing OSINT enthusiasts to independently verify its authenticity. Although that's out of scope for our episode, here is just a single example showing how you could do that. For instance, here it says that on February 21st, 2023, Russian forces used the Lancet loitering munition to damage a Ukrainian S-300 air defense system. We were unable to find any references of that in any English media outlet or search engine, but we found this Russian report which says, footage of the combat use of the Lancet loitering munition destroying the launcher of an S-300 anti-aircraft missile system of the Ukrainian troops appeared. The video was published on Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, by the War Z channel, titled Defeating the S-300 Launcher with Lancet, February 2023. And here is the 50-second video that was released. Could this be the incident that DIA referenced here? Maybe, but in order to assess the authenticity of this document, we have to repeat this process for every single piece of information mentioned here. That's out of scope for our channel, but it could be a nice exercise for anyone that wants to get more into OSINT research. Another interesting point that we learned from this is that Ukrainian forces were training on how to use the Patriot systems in the continental United States, and for IRIS-T, Avenger, and Patriot, they were also training in Germany at the time. There was also a plan which was to be defined here for a training on Patriot systems to be conducted in the Netherlands. It's also worth noting how the Russian military was doing their airstrikes, which needed AD systems to combat them. We see on the timeline that Russia conducted 2 strike waves in January, followed by another 2 in February, and DIA expected 2 more in April. By February 28th, that was the 16th airstrike wave since the war started, as the numbers indicate. We aren't going to go through each and every item listed here, but hopefully this provides another view into military operations and planning, the logistical complexities that this war had in February of 2023, and also hints the vast amount of analytical work that is hidden behind such a report. This is one of the many intelligence products that military intel analysts work on in windowless rooms around the world to keep their military leaders well informed, which is the reason of existence for any intelligence organization. Another practical demonstration of how complex military campaigns are and some of the work that is taking place behind the scenes, since nothing is as it seems.